Peter.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks
Or
for
nice to
seeing
see
me
you again,
today.
sorry.
Yeah, how was your trip to China? I know you said it was a vacation, but I know you had some samples of wine in your bag. So how'd it go?
Well, yeah, you know, vacation never actually exists. It always blends into business a little bit. So yeah, I did a little sampling when I was over there.
Good.
Brought a little back. So yeah, but it was good times.
Good.
Just trying to get used to the time zone again. But,
I'm sure that with a 16-hour flight, so I'm sure you're pretty jet lagged.
yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal.
I can understand that. I know while you were out, I was in contact with Sonia and Ryan. So
Excellent.
they're all
Excellent.
caught up to speed with everything I'm going over with you today. So mainly my objective today is to go over with you so far what your previous issues were coming over from FedEx to UPS. One, I want to thank you for doing that and being able to partner with me.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the concerns that you had now, that you wanted to after we were able to get some of the things we have in place now in regards to mitigating your risk when shipping out damages and things like that.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about what's next. Speaking about your trip to China, I know you said you had clients in China, you're looking to expand, so we'll get into that too.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
No, let's roll.
All right. So when I first got with you, you were having issues with FedEx being shipping compliant. Now, based on the fact that you're a retailer, you can only go to about 15 to 16 states depending on the permits that you have per state, okay? So at that time, you had about 15 shipments a month being intercepted. No solutions were in place at FedEx, and it was costing your company about $3,000 quarterly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so one thing I want to point out about this as well, I know that you're using some sort of notified system with FedEx that was telling your clients when shipments are going in.
Correct.
One of the reasons I want to bring that up to you is because when a shipment is intercepted, even if it's with them or us, that's conveying a message to your client that it may look like you guys may not know where to ship to, which I try to tell all my clients this, word of mouth is still a huge way of promotion. So last thing you want our clients saying, these guys don't know what they're doing. So we put things in place to make sure that wouldn't happen, and I'll show you what we did.
Okay.
So moving into what we were able to do, you're shipping through WorldShip, which we integrated a crossware with you guys, which speaks from WorldShip to Ship Compliant. Now, I don't know how much Sonia told you about Ship Compliant, but what Ship Compliant does is to basically make sure that based on the agreement you have with UPS, that you're shipping to the proper states and or countries with the proper permits and taxing the proper amounts, because each state has a different tax amount.
And that's controlling it all.
Correct. That's the crossware that we've integrated into WorldShip is controlling what is being pinged basically from Ship Compliant and back, ensuring that if you are not allowed to ship somewhere, it will tell you cannot ship there. It won't, and actually our system won't even allow you to process that shipment.
Okay.
So it's mitigating that risk of you having something intercepted and sent back.
Cool.
Okay. So basically what that's doing is it's streamlining your ability to ship. So if you can't go there, you don't even have to worry about it. I also sent Ryan a list of places that he can ship to based on the permits that you currently have. There are about 3 states currently that we do need to still get permits for, but I know that you said that that was something that was kind of on the back burner just while we got things up and running.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What we also did to cover that cost for you, because I know you're big on savings and bottom line. So if we look at that all the way around, we actually allocated $3,000 in customer technology program money to you, and let me tell you where we allocated that to for you. So you had one-time payment of the $1,500 to our district for the crossware. We had that integrated already by Rashad. He came in and took care of that. But then we also paid the $1,500 in a 3-year subscription for Ship Compliant, ensuring that as long as you ship with us and you keep all that revenue and volume with us, we're going to take care of that for you. So realistically, you're not spending anything. And when you come down and look at it in the overall, about $12,000 in savings in just compliant shipping costs alone is what you'll save yearly.
Nice.
All right. Now, again, kind of overview, just implementing these solutions overall saves you guys time and money. Gives Ryan a little bit more time to actually get your orders out, especially during peak season. I know you guys are crazy busy. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Any questions on that?
No, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, is it working?
It is working. So from what I've noticed, so we can actually pull an exception report. You can do that through Billing Center.
Okay.
So you can pull an exception report, which we have you guys set up on, which would show you any shipments that were intercepted. There's an exception on, which is what's going to show on your end. I did that report with Ryan myself in the first quarter. There were no shipments that were intercepted, so the crossware seems to be working.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So that's always a good thing.
That was the goal.
So moving on, your current issues. In our conversations, you had told me that you were having at least 4 hours a month being spent on damages, right? Costing you $500 in employee time, which, you know, I know you give Ryan a nice little pay because you guys are all stakeholders in the company, so I know that that's important to you. All right, 30 packages a quarter being damaged. That's a lot. And unpaid claims is a loss of $6,000 in profit a month. All right, so overall, what does that say to you when you look at these numbers and you go, wow, I have 30 packages that are being damaged per quarter and spending 4 hours a month? What does that say to you as a business?
Well, what it says is my profit's laying all over the floor there in a pile of glass. That's what it tells me.
That's exactly what I want to put that visual up there for you. Because I know when I've been inside of your warehouse, you hate things being broken. I've seen stuff being broken, how you react. So I wanted to show you that so you can see next slide what we're going to do to help mitigate that happening. Okay. So as just knowing in general, doing business and shipping anything is a risk. Okay. There are going to be mistakes that are made. However, what I'm going to bring into the table today is part of our UPS Capital Solutions. It's kind of our financial and insurance arm of UPS, and it's unique to our company only. So what we're going to be able to put you on is the Elite Vintners program. All right. Basically, what that is it helps clients like yourself who are shipping wine protect against things like breakage, temperature control related issues, cork push and seepage, which especially during the summer months can happen, right? So what these guys are going to come in and do, because you're already declaring value on your shipments, which we're only going to cover you at max up to $100 on shipping costs on that, right?
Yeah.
On average, your shipments are costing at least $150 to $200 because I'm noticing that when people are buying, they're not just buying one bottle, they're not buying two, they're usually buying a case.
Yep.
So that's gonna boost the cost of how much it is retail wise for you guys. What these guys are gonna do is not only gonna protect against these issues here, all right? We're gonna make sure that we lower the amount that you're actually paying in declared value. So right now you're paying $1.05. We can lower that down. I've seen it go as low as 90 cents, 80 cents per 100 that you'll be declaring. Then we cover that shipment in its in total cost. So not only do we cover the retail value on that shipment, we also cover the shipping costs. So in all, really trying to maximize your cash flow in case there is an incident that happens. At least we can get you your money back, usually within 5 days, about 95% of the time, so that you can go ahead and ship that shipment back out to your client if needed. Okay. Do you have any questions in regards to your Elite Vintners program or what that does for you guys?
I mean, it sounds pretty good, and it sounds like it's going to cost me 80 cents.
So it's already costing you $1.05, right, to declare value.
Right.
We can get it as and I'm just giving you an example. I've seen it go as low as 62 cents. Now with the,
I'll take that.
So what we can do is this. I don't mitigate that. However, it is based off of the volume and the revenue you do. Now, knowing me in the back of my mind in our previous conversations, I know you do 5,200 shipments a year with FedEx previously at about $130,000 in spend. When I equate that out in insurable goods per quarter at your $150 average sale, we're looking at about $195,000 in insurable goods per quarter.
Okay.
Not guaranteeing you I can get you to 60, 62, but I've been in that range before and been able to at least get around there. So I can probably tell you between at least, say, 75 cents to 90 cents is where you'll probably lie, just based on my previous knowledge and working with clients that have done this previously.
Okay. Interesting.
And that'll be something I actually include another UPS resource in, one of my capital representatives. Doesn't have to be you that signs off on it. I know Sonia usually handles a lot of the signing off on documents and things like that.
Yeah. And
I know her time's a little bit more, she has a little more bandwidth. So that's something I'd be more than willing to set up a time with her as I leave today to make sure we can get that implemented as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could do the analysis with her, but you know, with the rate having such a range like that, I'd like to be a little more involved in that because I'd really like to get that 62-cent rate.
Yeah, so it's everything's kind of a negotiation, right? So what the representative will do is come in and give you a little bit more high overview detail in regards to exactly what's going to fit the best. And the reason why I say that is because you wanting to expand internationally, which is something we'll hit on next, that can change the policy that you go on. So like the Elite Vintners, like lower level liability policy gives you that discount per 100 that you ultimately would be claiming on each shipment. Okay. If you went more of a cargo route, there is a premium, but then there's no additional cost to it. There's a premium that you would pay, and I know it can be broken out into different payment options. What those options look like, can't 100% tell you, but bringing in another resource would be able to give you some more detailed information I think that you're looking for.
Okay.
Sound good? All right, so that's what we're gonna do now. Ultimately, it's gonna save you money in the long run. It's gonna mitigate your risk, save you time having to process claims. You're not gonna have to go through the 8 to 14 days. It's mainly gonna be about a 5-day process, so just ultimately trying to speed things up for you. Okay. Now next, one big thing, speaking of your China trip, I knew that you want to expand internationally, but you were scared to do so. You said it was a monster, was the exact words that you used, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm here to help you slay the monster, all right?
Okay.
What you're missing out on, and one thing I want to make sure you see, is this is $481 billion market by 2020. So right now, you've kind of minimized your volume to just within the States. It's actually easier to ship internationally wine than it is to ship within the States. Less permits, less red tape, things to go around like that.
Really?
Yes. Why that is, I can't give you a 100% answer. I've asked legal, they can't give me a 100% answer. I just know that each state is out here is governed differently. They all have different laws.
Okay.
So a lot of countries are trying to open it up. They want more of American imports coming into them. So why not get you there?
All right.
Now, just giving you an idea, these numbers here is what I pulled from SimilarWeb from what your website's driving in. Now, all 4 of these countries here equates out to about 6.5%, and we ship to all 4 of those countries. 6.5% of that $481 billion gives you at least an opportunity to go to an untapped $35 million in possible revenue that you could go after just within these 4 countries here.
All right, you're gonna have to back up because I have no idea why you think it's those 5 countries, what those percentages mean, or what a similar web is actually.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and dive into that a little more. So
Okay.
what SimilarWeb does, we actually partner with them. They give us analytics in regards to a company's website. So kind of what traffic's going to them, what countries are viewing them the most.
Okay.
These percentages are just breaking it down. Obviously, the United States is gonna be the highest percentage of people who are looking at your website. But in regards to wanting to expand internationally, you have the traffic there. We're just not shipping there yet. And
So you're saying this is my website specifically, and those are people from other countries that are looking at it?
correct, from what at least the information I've gathered from SimilarWeb. Now, you guys may have your own system on the back end that runs some of these algorithms for you, but based on the information I could find, these are the top 5 countries that are at least looking at and wanting to purchase your product.
Yeah, no, I can tell you I have no algorithms. No.
And that's something that if you guys don't have, there are different systems that SimilarWeb's actually accessible to anybody. So you can actually sign up. It's free to sign up and utilize the information on there to also help your business.
Well, thanks, you taught me something today. I like that.
You're welcome. So as I kind of said, those 5 countries or those 4 countries that you have here below, they're on the list of countries that we can ship to. With you going into China recently and sending in samples, we actually ship to China. So that's somewhere we could help you get. Now,
Interesting.
to address the monster part, where you were talking about having, you know, some of the documentation. So one, we would need an international special commodity form to be filled out. That's on me. I do that for you. You don't even have to touch that. What that does is just make sure that any country that we possibly could ship to, even as the laws change, it updates it to where you can go there. As of right now, it's 39 countries. Let's say it updates to 44. We won't have to refill one out. It just updates automatically, and anything that's eligible, you can ship to that.
And that's just what, a one-time form that you have to do?
Yeah, and I end up taking that on for you. I just wanted to make sure you knew some of the work that I was going to be doing for you to allow this.
Okay.
Okay. Now, another part that I want to make sure that we implement is paperless invoicing. Now, I know I've gone over that with Sonia. Has anyone else ever gone over? Because I know I haven't had the time to do it with you yet. Do you understand what that is exactly?
I mean, I'm not completely sure. So, I mean, maybe it might help if you explained it.
Yeah, I'll paint a small picture for you. So I've seen Ryan's desk. Ryan's desk, who's your shipping manager, papers are everywhere. Okay?
Yep.
So if he has to ship internationally, without the paperless invoice in place, he has to have 3 international copies of the, 3 copies of the commercial invoice, right? So those papers can get lost. If by any chance one of those copies isn't with the shipment while it's going in transit, shipment can be held. So once it's held, that's causing more times in transit, possibly even causing your customer to say, you know what, I don't want to cancel that order, it's taking so long. What this can do, we'll get the documentation actually submitted for you, is once you fill out the commercial information, just like Ryan regularly does if he was to go ship internationally, okay? That information is then electronically put onto your label. So once our driver comes and scans it, information's transacted immediately electronically. Pretty much your package is cleared prior to even getting there.
Interesting.
So really streamlining that process for you.
Okay.
Something else I would want to bring up with those two is bringing in the power of attorney with UPS, just in case there is anything that possibly could be wrong in there, that you have a direct contact in those countries. The UPS power of attorney will basically be able to help change over any information or correct things if it is wrong by any chance.
Okay.
Okay. To also add to that, since you think that international shipping is kind of a monster, we could put you on what's called our International Welcome Program. What that is it's a free program, okay? But along with that program, you almost get like a concierge, basically. What this gentleman or lady is to do is they're there to hold Ryan's hand through shipping internationally, so where if he has questions on how to fill out the commercial information, she knows this person will be able to help walk them through that.
Okay.
And realistically bring value to where Ryan isn't having to call 3 or 4 different numbers or get a hold of me. He can directly get a hold of this rep who will literally handhold through 12 weeks worth of that, as long as you guys are doing 1 shipment per month, which is pretty easy to do just looking at the want that you guys have that is out there.
Very interesting.
And then hopefully you got some hundreds of China people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So ultimately, that's my overall goal right here, is to help expand you into markets that you never had before. These 4 countries could add a possible 6.5% of additional revenue. Again, $481 billion by 2022. If you could even just tap into 6.5% of that, or even close to it, you're opening yourself to $35 million in possible untapped revenue that you can bring into your company. So again, kind of affecting the cash flow that you guys have.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
With that, that's basically all I have. Are there any questions that you have for me?
No, I mean, I think that was a pretty thorough explanation, and you kept it pretty concise for me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I know you're a straight shooter. I know you don't have time to waste, neither do I.
Fantastic.
All right, excellent.
All right.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.